Today, while the stencil dries, we're going to have a chat with Wade Lucas. Hey, Wade, how's it going?
Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
All good. Do you want to give us a quick, little brief background on yourself?
Well, we established my name's Wade Lucas. I've been tattooing for about 11 years. I dabble in most styles of tattooing, like everything black and grey, but I'd say I'm more known for like my script and lettering tattoos.
Yeah, definitely. Talking earlier, you have a little bit of a background in graffiti. How much has that sort of led to lettering in your tattooing?
It's like I've always had an interest in graph like since I was a kid. But it was never like I was never like that active. I was never like a big name writer or whatever, but I always had that interest during my teenage years when I wanted to be out with my friends rather than inside drawing. That was sort of one thing that kept me interested in art. So I was drawing a lot of that stuff all the time. And then from there led to because I went all the way through school, and when I finished school I was 17. So I was like trying to get a tattoo apprenticeship right off the bat. A lot of places didn't want to take on an underage apprentice. So from there, a lot of writers, like graph writers that I knew, were doing sign writing.
Yes.
So I found myself a sign writer's apprenticeship. So that thing, like one thing led to the next thing, which then led to, as a tattooer, being able to do letters pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I guess even like the sign writing ties in pretty well with tattooing as far as like laying out compositions and stuff like that.
Definitely. I think sign writing helped me so much. I didn't even realize how much it was helping me until it was pointed out to me by like other lettering artists, because it seems a lot of my favorite lettering artists are also signies. So it's like they tie in together, especially like the basic rules that I learnt through being a sign writer, like letter composition and flow and line weights and stuff. It was things that I was learning for this apprenticeship that I didn't think I would need for tattooing, but is now so beneficial to have learned.
So when you started tattooing, did you have a style in mind that you wanted to get into?
Yeah.
Did it just naturally sort of evolve?
No, I had I was obsessed with tattooing since I was like 15 years old, and then I was influenced by everything I was watching like on YouTube or whatever. I would, Miami Ink would like had just sort of started coming out. I remember that Vice series that Tattoo Age. It was called Tattoo Age that Vice did. I would watch that religiously, and they were all based around artists that would do like hand drawn stuff. Miami Ink and all those things. It was all hand drawn, like Japanese neo trad stuff like that, and like all my original folios were all that. And obviously, I was watching like Norm and Big Sleeps and Flax and stuff, like all these US guys that were doing lettering stuff. It was all freehand type stuff. So it was all illustrative styles that I planned on getting into, and and then that went all out on this folio, with all those sort of designs. And it's funny, like when I started actually tattooing, black and grey was really taking off, and I always avoided drawing faces and like realism and stuff because in my mind I'm like I just want to draw tattoos. I didn't picture it as as realistic stuff, so I had to adapt real quick once I started actually tattooing, because it was huge at the time. Like black and grey realism was popping off, and that's what the people wanted. You know?
It was still pretty new at that stage.
Yeah. And it's like, and if you could do it half all right, like you were booked up, like, so, I worked, the first shop I was at was a walk-in style shop. So, whatever the client wanted, that's what you were doing that day. So it was awesome. It was definitely like a big variety. A lot of people wanted black and grey.
Yeah. It's a good way to start out doing like just general walk-ins, any style. I know some artists don't do that and they just start off with one style and stick to it and don't do much else. But I think when you're thrown in and you've got to do that mashup of just whatever comes through the door, I think it really bounces off and sort of it sort of gives you like so many ideas like of complementing styles together and evolving a personal style.
100%. I think it's like the walk-in tattooer is like kind of dead now, in the sense of like a lot of people, well, most people will get into the industry now wanting to do a specific style and hit the ground running with that, which is great, because like being able to focus on one style and knock that out of the park and having a good niche is like super important. But I also feel like putting in those hard yards at the beginning, doing a little bit of everything, is also quite important, because then you're ready for anything that comes in the door. You further down the track, you can evolve your style because you've done, 20 koi fish 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's all in my head. It's all part of the process. Yeah.
So you think like newer artists these days coming in are actually losing, I guess, that influence of other styles to create something unique of their own? All really unique artists are a mashup. They're sort of combining other things into their style to create something unique.
Yeah.
Do you think if you're starting off with one style, you're losing that little something on your shoulder to sort of push it in another direction?
Yeah. Like, I think just the industry as a whole is evolving, and and I don't want to be like, I've only been tattooing 11 years, which is a drop in the ocean as far as the grand scheme of things. I want to do it forever. I think it's like, yeah, it is a bit lost in that sense. Like the industry is evolving, and the idea of like doing a bit of everything is a little bit lost. But I'm not saying that as a negative thing. Like, I think it's also awesome that now someone can come into the industry and be like, I've got this cool style that I work on, and I'm really fucking good at it, and I'm gonna, make a career out of it. It's like that. I think that's pretty sick. It's just not how I did it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a luxury older artists had.
Yeah, for sure. I remember there was obviously like heaps of tattoos that I wanted to do. Like all these things that I've been drawing leading up to getting the tattoo apprenticeship, and then once I started tattooing, I was mainly just doing like simple walk-in style stuff, Pinteresty type stuff, and I pictured I'd be doing like dragon sleeves and stuff like that. And I remember like this actually really resonated with me. I remember my mentor like overheard me whinging about, like, infinity symbols were huge at that time, and I'd done like 3 of them in a day, and I was like, overheard me whinging about it, and he goes, what's that you whinging about? I'm like, oh, it's just these infinity symbols on, or whatever it was. It was like a common design that I was doing flat out. He goes, oh yeah, right. What do most of your mates do? And I'm like, oh, the tradies and stuff. He's like, goes, yeah, right. So you'd rather be out there in the sun digging holes and shit like that, or you'd be in here drawing infinity symbols and feathers and stuff. And I'm like, that's actually so spot on.
Yeah.
And it's really stuck with me, and I've always really appreciated how awesome it is what we do.
Puts it in perspective. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, beggars can't be choosers. Like, you do what you can do.
Yeah.
And it pays the bills, but at the end of the day, like, you're still doing something really cool.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, I'm fortunate that I can, majority of the time, I get to, wake up and do a cool tattoo almost every day. And like, that's something that I'm stoked on. But having said that, like, at the end of the day, this is just it's not just my job. This is my job. And I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I'm too cool or like too far on in my career to not do, these designs that I'm not as stoked on. Because at the end of the day, the person that's getting it, they're getting it because that's what they want.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we're working for them and helping them.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, yeah, like I said, yeah, was saying before, it puts it in perspective.
You need to compromise that passion and job at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is your profession. You need to make money to pay the bills. And like, let's face it, most of the time you are doing something creative. So doing a boring design every now and then is not the end of the world.
Not that big of a deal. Yeah. But it's like, that's also why I, like even in the intro before, I said I dabble in in all styles, because it's like I've got an appreciation for all styles too, and you know, I can get hyped about just about any tattoo that people want me to do. You know, like
Yeah, it's great.
I'm lucky to be doing it for a living. Like it's awesome.
Yeah. So you've moved on recently to Umbra. How are you finding it there? It's been well known for like being a creative hub.
Yeah, 100%. It's been awesome there. I love the level of artists that are there. Everyone there is at the top of their game. And it's motivating to make you want to bring your A game every day, you know. And everybody wants to see what everybody's doing, you know. Like everybody wants to come around, check out your tattoo. You want to be every day. You want to be doing an absolute banger, you know. Like you want people to. As for, there's two levels too. So like you know, you want people to wander downstairs and stop and go, oh fuck, look at that, you know. I love that. And it's been really eye opening because there's such a mix of styles. It's like everyone at the top of their game, but in their own style. Like, you know, you got guys doing bodysuits and back pieces and stuff like that every week. Like every week there seems to be like a crazy back piece that gets finished and everyone gathers around to look at it. And I think that's so sick, you know.
Yeah. It's very motivating to see all that.
100%. Yeah, it makes me if it's motivated me to do anything, it's to try and take on bigger pieces and like plan out large scale stuff, you know.
That larger scale stuff, obviously. Do you need to find a way to adapt to design something covering like, I guess, almost multiple parts of the body at the same time?
Yeah, like you know, when to start a new sleeve rather than, you know, because like the client for the most part will send you like an image of like the, you know, the outside of a forearm, something like that. Be like, I want a piece like this. And then, you know, in the past I'd be like, yeah, cool, I can do something like that. But this is like working there has really opened my eyes to, you know, maybe ask them like, are we going to do a full sleeve? Like maybe we should plan out, you know, from your wrist to your shoulder and have that like fully planned out and have, so it doesn't look like piece here, and you just have like one continuous image that works, that flows well, you know, over the whole arm.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see so much of that evolving at the moment. Like artists that are planning the big picture, the big piece, and can have one big design cover the whole outside of a leg or an arm.
Yeah.
Versus, I guess the way we used to do it back in the day was one piece per, you know, a sleeve would be 1, 2, 3, 4 different pictures, and we're now actually trying to do one complete design.
Yeah,
like one whole limb is a design.
Yeah, and I've been stuck in that mindset for quite a long time, like because that's just how I you know started doing things. Except like things like the full outer leg like lettering pieces. Done a few of those, and then I think that might have even been what planted the seed because it's like planning out this whole outer leg and then looking at the photo of it all flowing looks so sick, you know.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's got so much impact when you can see it that big.
Yeah.
So does it, I guess, it changes your design a little bit to make it work like that rather than trying to fit it all into one spot.
Yeah.
Like you've got weird shapes that come down at a knee or an elbow. How much more difficult is it design-wise?
It's got its own set of challenges because I was used to designing something, you know, to a certain size, and then on a larger scale, definitely. The biggest hurdle to jump over at first for me, I find, is like convincing the client that this is the way to go. Because the point I'm at now, a majority of my clients are return clients I've been tattooing for a long time. And if I've already done a sleeve on them, or just say I've done their arm and they want to do their leg or their other arm, and I'm like, let's approach it differently. It's hard to sell that when you've already done a sleeve that they love, but with that mindset, because it's also daunting to start such a big project on someone, like for them to trust you with so much skin.
Yeah.
You know, which is totally fair. Like I remember when I got my first tattoo, it was Daniel Sharpie. He did my first tattoo on my 18th birthday. And I went in there and like, cause I was into tattoos, I thought I knew what I was talking about. And I had this image and it was like this big. And he was like, why don't we do it? Like the whole inside of your forearm. And I was like, oh no, I sort of had it in my head that it was going to be this big. And he was like, He's, he's confused by that, but he's like, fuck man, whatever. Yeah, like it's your arm. And then I got the tattoo, and then for ages I'm looking at it, I've just got this bit of bare skin on my wrist. Like there's just this little square of skin. And it's like, and like we ended up putting a rose there. And I look at it all the time and think like, yeah, he was right. I should have listened to him. Makes total sense. But at the time, I was a clean skinned 18-year-old kid. You know what I mean? I couldn't get it out of my head that like this is going to be there forever. So it's going to be the size that I pictured in my head.
The concept of design, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't blame a client like yourself
Yeah.
or anyone for coming in. Obviously, you've seen images of stuff that you like, and if it's not a concept you're familiar with, it is a little bit hard to wrap your head around.
For sure.
Yeah, especially as you said, like you're tattooing clients that you've already approached a certain way and done full sleeves, and this is how we've done it previously.
Yeah.
Now to say, oh, we're going to change it up and try and do this whole panel, and we're not going to concentrate on one section at a time and finish it. We're sort of just going to sketch in this large piece that doesn't really look great until a few sessions later.
Exactly. Like, yeah, let's grey line out this whole sleeve like at once. It's a hard sell.
Yeah.
And like you need with adapting your style in any way, it's like it's good to have a photo of one that you've done. But if you're trying to do it for the first time, it's a tricky one. It's like trying to get a new job that requires experience, but you have no experience, but you can't get any experience because you can't get the job. You know what I mean?
It's a hard sell.
Yeah, it's a hard sell. So like, it's the beauty of like social media and stuff now. Like you could do 10 of these designs and blast them on your Instagram. You can get, say what you will about social media. Like it's definitely changed the industry a lot, but it's a great platform to get your stuff out there, It
is definitely like, it might be hard work to keep up with, but at the end of the day, we never had access to such a wide client base before.
Yeah, exactly.
Like so many people besides just people in your local area walking past, or, word of mouth, someone that's friends with someone you've tattooed.
Definitely.
Obviously we've got that much more of a database of people.
Yeah.
And then people coming from, interstate, international to get tattooed by artists these days because they love their work so much. It was something that couldn't happen before unless you were in like magazines.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. You can find exactly what you're looking for quickly. It's definitely changed the industry a lot, but there's so many more positives than there is negatives to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in like the infancy of it, when sort of like the gold rush sort of era where it was just taking off as a good platform for tattooers. Like, like I was only a few years into tattooing, and like I don't know, it was the way the algorithm used to work. Like with the remember when everything used to like.
It used to be chronological.
Chronological, that's it. It would all go in order. So I knew if at this time I put up whatever, it was going to get seen. And I would book out for months. And it was like after only tattooing a couple of years, and like it wasn't any good, like, and it was just like that was the time where tattooers had clued on that this is a good tool. Yeah, for us, and this was before it was the only tool, because I feel like now it's like 90% at least of how anyone gets any work.
I was talking to someone the other day. Sorry, I overheard the conversation.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, you on Instagram?" And he's like, "Nah, TikTok."
Yeah, right.
And it's like I'm booked out to the end of the year just from TikTok.
Damn.
And he's like, "Yeah, I should get my girlfriend's gonna jump on and do my Instagram and stuff for me."
Yeah.
And like, that's how much it's evolving now. Like most tattoo artists see Instagram as the be all and end all.
Yeah.
But then you've got TikTok over here, and he's just booking himself out from that.
Fuck, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't need Instagram." Like, fuck, what would we do without it?
I know. You're yeah, because I like to think that I'm keeping up with, like, because I want to adapt with the industry. Like, I don't want to just stop and be like, oh, I'm not doing that shit. Like, because everyone who's done that they're not working. I want to adapt, and whatever I need to do to keep me tattooing for forever is adapt.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, it is a creative industry, but it is exactly that. It's an industry. If you want work, like, you need some sort of business aspect, and that's just part of the business.
Yeah.
You know, everyone that is playing the game, as you said, they're busy. They're tattooing. Like, you know, there's plenty of better tattooers that aren't as busy, but that's all it really comes down to.
Exactly.
It's just how busy you want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's crazy. Like you come across these artists that are hard up for work, but they're so good. It's like it's because like they don't want to play the game, or they can't, or you know, it's not their thing.
Yeah.
You know, even you bring up TikTok just then. Like I've always been hesitant to jump on TikTok purely just because I'm not much of a like doing this is a big deal for me. Like sitting here and talking to you on camera, you know, like and yeah, I would have to. I think to make the jump into TikTok, I'd have to figure out a way to do it that I was comfortable with. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do a dance or lip sync a video or something.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same sort of platform. You can just post videos. It doesn't have to be a silly TikTok dance. I think that's what everyone's got in their head.
Yeah.
If you're on TikTok, you need to be dancing. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, people are putting that much effort into their videos. It's just, you know, a film of the stencil going into a transition of the tattoo, and then the tattoo finished at the end. You can just do all that same sort of stuff on TikTok, and then you just chuck some popular music behind it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's pretty much just what I'm doing with Reels now.
Yeah, that's all it is. Transferring over to post on another platform. I think stuff like that's definitely needs to get more knowledge out into the world. Like, I think where a lot of artists are so creative, they fight any sort of business driven, I don't want to do it for money. Like, I don't want to have to do this to promote my business.
Yeah.
But it is the business, but it is very simple, and there's not that much you have to do out of your comfort zone to sort of adapt.
Yeah, that's it. I think people with that way of thinking are like looking at the worst case scenarios, like these people that are selling their souls to go viral, or selling out their beliefs, or selling out the industry to make a quick buck and go viral, you know, like. But us as tattooers, like, I think, like, we just want to get our work out there, you know. I'm like, like, there'll be days where I'm like, oh man, I can't be bothered making a reel of this, or you know, getting this big light set up to get this nice photo of this tattoo. But then, like, it's all about perspective. I'll check myself sometimes and be like, nah, how fucking lucky am I that I can do this tattoo that I'm stoked about, get a photo of it or a video or whatever, and if I want, within minutes of having finished it, I can put it up there for the world to see. I can share it with everyone.
And if you're that proud of your work, you've got to be able to capture it to show people.
100%, yeah.
And you want to be able to show them sort of, you know, it's never the same in person as it is on a screen. So you need to put in more effort to get it looking good on that screen.
Exactly.
So sometimes taking a photo is 15, 20-minute journey, and then filming it around because it wraps too much to get it in a photo. Like, I think if you really love the tattoo, you're going to want to capture it.
That's exactly it. Like, I want to take that time to do it because I want that photo or that video for me, you know? Like, I don't want it. It sucks. Like, it's not like doing a painting where you can keep it, or, you know, you finish it and then you wrap it up and it walks out the door. Sometimes you may never see it again.
It's a collaboration with the client.
Yeah.
The client keeps it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they get to keep it, and then they're going to walk around with it, show everyone they know. That's cool. It's like, but then, I may never see it again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to document it, you know.
It's a bit heartbreaking sometimes, never seeing it again. Doing that last session, but never seeing the entire thing healed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the only, like, one of the only mediums that changes so much over time, and you may never see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, like, you're not gonna do a painting and then put it in your office or your studio or whatever, and then come back a week later and it's changed.
I think one cool thing about that is with the client is, like, when you randomly see that tattoo in public, like 5 years later, and you're like, wow, like, and sometimes it shocks you. You're like, wow, that's such a good tattoo. And then you're like, hang on, I did that.
Yeah, I love that, actually. I've had that one. It sticks out to me I saw this. I was at the Melbourne show one year, and I saw a bloke lining up for a ride. And like I always spot script tattoos in public, um, because it is such a niche, and it's rare to see like a cool one. And yeah, this guy had script down his neck, and it caught my eye, and I went, "Fuck, that looks pretty sick." And then like got a better look, and I'm like, "Oh, I did that." And then yeah, being able to walk away from that, like, "Oh, cool," you know.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's at first, you know, we do so many tattoos. At first, I didn't even remember doing it, and then sort of like something clicked, you know.
Yeah, it's like you do so many that you do forget. And I think I found myself in like slumps before where I'm like, oh, I feel like I haven't really done anything great in ages. Like I've done some cool pieces, but I just haven't done them like as well as I could have.
Yeah.
And then you see that person come back with a sleeve from like 3 or 4 years ago, and you're like, damn, I am pretty good.
I love that about having been tattooing for 11 or 12 years or whatever, however long it's been, because somebody could say, oh, I got this tattoo from you 5 years ago. And it's like, I was, you know, at that point, I was still had been tattooing for 5 or 6 years. So it might still be pretty sick. You know what I mean?
It might be.
It might be. Like, I don't know. You're always your own toughest critic. Whenever you hear that you did this such and such years ago, because you're always progressing as an artist, your first thought is like, oh no, like let me see that fucking thing, you know?
Yeah, you get that shock if you run into someone, they're like, oh, you tattooed me like 6 years ago. And then they go to pull their sleeve up and you're like, fuck, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
And then they do it and you're like, oh, that's all right. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I think that's a progression thing, you know? I'll have times where I'll be like I'll see an old tattoo I did. I'm like, oh, that's a cool effect. Why did I stop doing that?
Yeah.
You know, like especially like with letters and stuff like that, like the bells and whistles I'll put on like a script piece, you know, because I like do a guest spot somewhere and pick up on something, and you know, you pick up on little tricks and stuff, and then but sometimes like you do them for a little while and then you forget. Yeah, and then you'd like a little something will spark it and you'll be like, yeah, why did I stop doing that? That was cool, you know.
I think everyone's always evolving like technique as well. You're changing to like a longer stroke and doing a bit more peppery shading, or I used to put like drops of white in my grey wash, or now I'm doing that. Yeah. And then you see something healed from before and you're like, why did I stop doing what I was doing there? That's like, that's so good. Yeah. And now I'm experimenting with this other stuff, which I'm not liking as much, or the other way around. Yeah. And I think, you evolve so much, even if it's just the way you're applying it, but then design, layout, all of the composition. Yeah, definitely. And it's like it could work the other way around too, because you could learn something and it's a game changer for you, and then you look back or think back to pieces from the past and you'd be like, fuck, if only I knew then what I know now, this one would have been a banger, you know? Yeah. Like little thing, like the thing that I always remember with lettering was like the spacing around the key lines, like the key line around a word. I remember like I always looked up to Norm. I thought he was the man. He would always do his key lines a little bit closer. And then me being a less experienced artist, when I first started tattooing, tried to do quite close key lines, and they just all looked really bunched in. Got onto other artists that were doing them like exaggerating them and giving the word heaps of room to breathe. I was like, oh, that looks so much better. And then there was like one tattoo where I thought I'd give it a go, like go wider with it, and just it being like a light bulb moment, you know? And then once you have that light bulb moment, you're like, every tattoo from here on is going to be way better. But every tattoo previously, I now hate a little bit, you know? because just because you know you could have done better. You're progressing all the time, you know? That's the cool thing about this industry, you know? Like you never stop learning, you never stop being excited, but I won't. Like, you know, like stop being excited by it because there's always something new to learn. Yeah. Especially like the way it's progressing now is crazy as well. Like the stuff people are doing now, and like the standard that it's reached is nuts. So much, it's so much to learn, and there's so much information out there too. Yeah, well, that's thanks to social media as well. Yeah, like we see these crazy European artists doing like more saturated / opaque black and gray, like, or fully saturated crazy color pieces that have taken 80 hours. Yeah, and then once you see that, you know it's achievable. Like it's not out of reach anymore.
Yeah.
It can be done. You talk to people, and you go to creative studios. They're all sort of experimenting at the same time. They're like, oh, I see you adding this and adding that. I'm gonna try that and use an opaque gray,
Yeah.
and then punch in some solid background around this black and gray shaded piece, and that's where all that evolving, all that moving forward of the industry comes from.
Yeah, that's like, and it's so sick that we have these platforms that we can see all these things from all over the world. You know, like I just had like a bit of a like Europe trip, and I did the London Tattoo Convention while I was over there. There was styles that are popular on that side of the world that I've seen on Instagram, but you know, in person, it's like the big full body ornamental stuff is like really big over there. So seeing a lot of that in person was crazy. But like, if I had never seen that on my phone and then having like gone there and just like, it would have been mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it made me think like back in the day, you know, all you would know is the 2 or 3 other people that work in your little shop and what everyone there is doing, or like whoever at the other local shops you knew. That was where the ceiling was, you know. And then the only time you would go higher than that is convention time, where everyone comes together and you look around and see what's you know, what people are up to, open your mind to what's possible. Now it's as easy as just pulling this rectangle out of your pocket and having a bit of a scroll. I'll be like, oh, cool, like that's nuts.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like even as you said, when you first started, like black and gray was popping off.
Yeah.
When I started, black and gray as a style, like realism as a style, or color realism, just realism in general as a style wasn't a thing. Before that, it was portraits, like portraits of like your kids or your mum or stuff like that. That was sort of the only realism that was around.
Yeah, right.
You know, you might have some realistic drawings and designs, but people weren't putting together a sleeve full of like lions and angel statues, and that wasn't around back then. The only realistic pictures you could get were just portraits. And then I remember seeing like Mick Squires, Tennille Napoli in the magazines, and they started sort of pushing the boundaries a bit more. And then like a whole other style, like a full style actually emerged out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the like Photoshop would have been a huge game changer. Hey, like being able to, you know, put photos together to create a design rather than here's the photo, just recreate that.
Yeah, well, that's it. I think that's where it comes into play is like people were just drawing designs.
Yeah.
Like getting a pencil out and drawing such a realistic design. I think it all comes down to reference and the availability of reference.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to go to a library, get a book on lions, find a really cool one, photocopy that. Like,
which is so cool though. Like I think that's so sick. Like, you know, it's like you weren't getting the cool lion reference unless you had the work ethic to be like, this is what I need to do to go get it. Like I need to go to the library. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just who can sit on Pinterest for the longest and find the best reference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People were just drawing shit up like out of their heads before. To get into that realistic style. And the references just weren't there.
Yeah.
Now, you jump on the internet. And now with AI, you jump on Pinterest and like you get these crazy lions that just weren't around before. There was only 5 good photos of lions. How easy is it to get a photo?
Yeah, well, there was that one, the roaring one. I would like, I mean, that sounds very vague, but if you tattoo, you know what I'm talking about. Like there's just one iconic one that it's probably been tattooed 1 million times, like literally 1 million times. And it's like, because that was the best one. And that's just what we had. But yeah, now that there's, you know, apps making new ones at the click of a button. Yeah. It's crazy, like how you know, what it's doing for the industry, you know?
Yeah, I think that untapped just amount of, I guess, inspiration and reference to work off of. If you can't see that, you don't know it's achievable.
Yeah, exactly. But on the flip side of that too, I've kind of gone full circle with it. Hey, I'm now more interested in seeing something that somebody's drawn. You know, like I mean, obviously, like with lettering, especially, like being able to do that more often. Like that's primarily what I'm doing every day. So I'm drawing something custom every day, which has gotten me back into that. Like, well, I'm living the career that I thought that I was going to be living when I was 16. You know, like you draw everything custom every day, you know, like you're either free-handed or you know, get the tracing paper out and stuff like that to make it fit the body, like, and then it's like it's got me like super passionate, stoked on tattooing, and then it trickles over to like other styles that I want to do. I want to draw it, you know, like I want to do trad, or I want to do, you know, neo trad, or you know, I never get to, but it'd be cool to do Japanese or something like that.
Yeah.
I want to put my hand to it, you know, like I don't want to. Having said that, like I do love tattooing realism. I love doing like horror imagery, stuff like that. I think that stuff with all the crazy textures and stuff, you can put your hand to it a little bit. I just like to be able to be creative.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that hand drawing is where the artistic side comes in more.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, with realism, it comes down to we're getting these, some of these images are just basically replicated.
Yeah.
And they're just really well technically applied.
Yeah.
Versus created images and custom designs.
Yeah.
It's just a Photoshop. It's a collage. We're making collages and then applying them on people versus actually creating art from scratch.
Yeah, definitely. I think being able, like, which, you know, I'm not totally opposed to. I don't want to shit on anyone's preferred style.
I do it.
Yeah. It looks, so do I. But it's like, I think like a cool middle ground. Sorry, is like combining the two, like being able to draw with your you know, whether it be AI or photo reference or whatever, you know, like a lot of the guys doing like the big, you know, like Radams and Harrison and stuff, doing the big like what would you call it? Like the biomechy, organic-y sort of flowy stuff. Like, you know, Radams is nuts. Like him drawing it all freehand. You know, like but you know, I've got an amazing piece by Harrison, and you know, I think he like had like a photo reference for some skulls in it, and then there's like a demon face that he's like had a reference drawn over it, and then there's like hands on it that I walked in while he was like sitting there. He had his hand positioned how he wanted it to look, and he was drawing it freehand, and I was like, you know, that's so sick. That's tatting.
Yeah,
that's tattooing. You know,
that's the difference between using references and just replicating.
Yeah.
It
was incredible.
Yeah. He's incredible.
He's the man.
He's definitely like
he's a fucking maniac.
Away at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to see. And like his stuff on such a large scale too.
Yeah,
which is wild.
Yeah, I think I was trying to book in at one stage to get my side done with him.
Yeah.
I just fucking I don't think I can take it anymore.
Yeah. Don't say that. I'm doing mine next week.
Oh yeah.
I've done one, and I would like I got a trad piece on this side, and then I want like a asymmetrical, like another design on the other side, and it's been bothering me. It's been long enough since I did the first side that I've forgotten how much it hurts. It's time.
Cool.
No,
but like, you've come this far in 11 years. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Just keep doing what I'm doing, you know, like tattooing every day, loving it, traveling, doing as many guest spots as I can, enjoying this life that tattooing has given me, you know, like it's given me so much, and I want to keep riding that wave, you know. Some of my best friends I've met through tattooing, like, you know, it's given me like I've been able to earn a comfortable living doing what I love. It makes me happy. Like, I just want to keep pushing forward and progressing with it. And yeah, I don't want to take any steps back. You know, I want to keep going.
Do you have any like tips or advice for someone that's struggling at the moment?
I think it's about that's a tough one to answer, but it's about asking yourself, do you want to do this forever, and how bad do you want it? Because, you know, like I said, like I was saying, like I'll adapt however I need to make sure I can do this forever. We're so lucky to be able to do this. The thought of doing something else is wild to me, you know. So it's like going to a normal job and having a boss and like 9 to 5 and not being able to like be creative is nuts. So it's like, you know, do what you got to do, adapt. Obviously, don't sell your soul. You don't have to do that. But just work your ass off to do it, you know. There was a time where things were super easy, and we all had work coming out our asses, and we're flat out. And it's easier to take your foot off the gas when the work's just flowing in. But now that it's not, like for a majority of people, you know, the industry's different. It's flooded. There's, you know, it's changed. You know, if you want to stay busy, you've got to actively, like any other business, you know, you got to actively bust your ass to keep it that way.
Yeah, we were very lucky for a while there, for quite a few years, where the industry was just killing it, and it was easy. Clients just fell in your lap.
That's it.
Yeah, I think we all sort of took advantage of it.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of people took advantage of it, not everybody.
oh, for sure.
But looking back now, like, you see how much easier it really was.
Yeah, I think we took it for granted, for sure. Like I mean, there was no way to know that things were going to be so different, and you know, however many years later. But you know, I definitely never thought to myself like things aren't going to be this way forever. I was always like, man, I'm booked out for 3-4 months. It's always going to be this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It only gets better. Yeah.
Yeah. It only gets better. Yeah. I'm only going to get better, and there's going to be more bookings. It's like, no, the world changes. You just got to keep up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, thanks for coming down and having a chat.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. I hope I was interesting and didn't babble on too much. It's like I said, this is a little bit outside of my comfort zone. Like, anyone who knows me knows I could talk a lot of shit, but like in this sort of setting and having it recorded and stuff is it's a new experience for me. So yeah, I hope it comes out cool.
No, you've done great. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. And yeah, make sure you follow Wade. What's your Instagram?
At wadelucastattoo.
Cool. So everyone jump on, give him a follow. And thanks again for coming down.
Beauty, mate. Thank you.